A lot of big things happening in the VR space this week, good and bad. Let's talk about them. I personally really don't like it when people use the word goggles when it comes to AR VR, but there is a new headset that was revealed at CES that it is the appropriate term. This is a set of AR ski goggles developed by a Swiss startup, Uslong, called the Sirius, like the satellite radio, but not satellite radio. These advanced ski goggles use a combination of AR and AI to display information while you're cutting down the mountain. It's a super interesting thought as something where we don't really think about tech in the snow a lot. This made me really curious and wondering, what do you think? Is this something that would help you? Maybe GPS, maybe a mapping of what the mountain is like ahead of you? What do you think the uses could be for this if you're out on the mountain? And would you wear these? Software update V49 for the Quest 2 is coming and bringing with it a few interesting features. Now, a lot of times when these new updates come, a lot of channels and media outlets will tell you the biggest, hugest changes are coming. That'll definitely be a stretch if anybody says that about version 49. You're getting another new home environment. If that's something you haven't explored on Quest, you can choose different home environments for when you first pop on the headset. Although for me, the home environment is really just a quick gateway to get into whatever game or app I'm going to. But some people have actually started using the home environments to hang out with friends in between games or to even meet up in them. And there's going to be a new abstract one. And not only that, some of the current existing ones are going to now let you sit in the chairs. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but for people who have chairs in these home environments they've never been able to use or sit in them, it is a cool thing maybe for people who are also going to be using virtual podcasting, and now they can actually be doing it in the home environment. One of the bigger updates to this is a do not disturb mode for those of you who are having too many notifications popping in while you're trying to play, or the new family controls. So parental supervision now doesn't just have to be done through the phone app. There's actually a full website. It hasn't quite launched yet, but it's going to give other options for parents who are buying their kids headsets. Of course, the funny thing here being Meta says, oh, these are for 13 up only, and adding all these parental controls. It's interesting. What do you think in the comments? We know that people of all ages enjoy and love VR. Do you think that Meta is just going to keep on trying to pretend that these parental controls are for those people with their kids 13 to 18 they've given the headset because that's what they allow? I'd love to know in the comments. Microsoft is a huge company that a lot of us have been waiting for them to finally bet bigger on VR, hoping they would drop something for the Xbox. Yet it seems this week they are chopping even more in the VR and AR space. After a tough year for a lot of tech companies, Microsoft has cut 10,000 employees, about 5% of its total workforce. With that, they also announced Altspace VR, a VR social platform that was popular in the early days of VR, being one of the first and only ones. I remember attending Coachella randomly in Altspace on a Gear VR many years ago. They've announced Altspace is being shut down. Creators who have created for Altspace can download their content by March 10th, 2023 if they want to keep it. This comes after tough news of US Congress halting orders of Microsoft's HoloLens 2, a contract that Microsoft had won that was worth up to $22 billion when they got this. They're citing that they're making people sick, that they're not being as useful in potential combat training scenarios. They stopped a request for $400 million to buy another 6,900 headsets. Nice. Amid these layoffs, they fire the entire mixed reality toolkit development team. It's been a tough year for layoffs with tech companies. Looks like Microsoft is not immune to that, and this will definitely affect their future in the AR VR space. What do you think about it? Are you someone who's involved in the tech industry? Is this something that's going to affect you or is making you nervous? I'd love to hear from an insider what's going on. Pixelated Monkey Simulator Gorilla Tag seems to be the behemoth of VR at the moment. For a free-to-play game, they have now reported $26 million in revenue, and over 700,000 people were playing it on Christmas Day. They recently reached a peak monthly active user count of 2.3 million people, and as we reported recently, they have more reviews than even Beat Saber that's been on the App Store for years. Gorilla Tag, for what it is and how the lobbies can sometimes be very dicey, does seem to be one of the big games at the moment, really helping push VR forward and getting headsets into the hands of more people, especially with those Christmas numbers. What do you think about that game possibly becoming the poster child of VR? Previously, it was reported Pavlov Shack, the more beta style version of Pavlov that's currently available free on Quest 2, would be coming to the PSVR 2. Now we are told it is actually the PC version of Pavlov coming to PSVR 2 for $24.99 at PSVR 2's launch. This means, unlike previously reported, Pavlov Shack players on Quest 2 will not be able to play with PSVR 2, but they also announced that Pavlov Shack will be $24 on Quest when it launches, and so right now you can still get Pavlov Shack for free in beta though. A lot of news changing with Pavlov, but this is promising that PSVR 2 is able to run the PC version. With all that said, what's going on in the news this week? What else have you heard out there that I didn't talk about? There is a lot happening. I had to kind of pick stories for you, so there will be more news coming, of course, to you every week, and soon we'll have a lot more. But so far, everybody's been enjoying these, and I appreciate that. I want to say thank you for the millionth time. All of you, I really appreciate you. And I will see you in another reality.